what are you going to bring to the U.S. Senate?
My passion is not only veterans, it's our closing our border and the children that are disappearing in the United States. And my heart just breaks as a mother and a grandmother. I'm a mother of 8 and a grandmother of 18. And I have got to do something to be the front line for these children.
I'm sure you were shocked as well to find out that some of the care of these illegal immigrants were done, they were getting billed through the VA.
It's
And
so
it's a total slap in the face.
That's one of my main platforms is our vets. They have given us their honor, and it's time for us to return honor back to them. The amount of money that's been given to the Ukraine could have built houses, housed our vets, give them medical care, and completely sustain them for the rest of their lives. All of our vets that are in the United States, just by the money that has went to the Ukraine. It is estimated that $1 trillion more is going to be printed from the broke Federal Reserve and used before the end of March by our own government. And the money's not going to us. The money's going to these migrants that are illegal aliens. I have a hard time saying that all of them don't need help because of the children that are brought against their will and promise things, and then the kids disappear. So they've found some of these children in sweatshops. And the reason that I focus a lot on the kids more than the drugs is because children can be used more than one time, and drugs can only be used once. And it's disgusting and it's evil. And the fact that the Biden administration wants us to believe what they say and not what we see is a travesty, and it's a psyop. They're trying to brainwash the American people, and a lot of people have become apathetic, and they do not want to wake up and see what's real, because I think their fear has made them afraid to step out because of what happened to J6 people. So they're afraid to exercise their First Amendment rights. They're afraid to speak out and use any of the Constitution. And that's why as a mom and a grandmother, I'm stepping out. It's like you either have courage to stand up for what you believe in, or your beliefs mean nothing, because they're going to be taken away. And it's just a little bit at a time, just like they did with Nazi Germany. It's just so horrific what I see happening as a mom.
A lot of people think, Sharleta, right, that you're in California, that this is just a border issue for New Mexico,
No.
Texas, Arizona, and California. But I think now what we've seen going on in New York, what we see going on in Chicago, it is obviously a nationwide problem. I've seen things, crime in places like Iowa and other random places that are far from the border, but they've dropped off a whole bunch of, once again, unvetted, unknown, would be and or terrorists and obviously criminals. So this really is a nationwide problem. But you as a Californian have a unique perspective in that you're a border state and can warn of these dangers. But I think it's become a little bit more apparent, at least to those who are awake. I mean, how many people in New York and Chicago are turning against this open border crisis? Against the Biden border crisis,
Right.
because it's come home, it's come to their backyard.
Right.
I want to go back on something that you had talked about, and that's all these missing children. Because
Yes.
it used to be that doesn't matter if you were red or blue, if you were Democrat or Republican, if you were liberal or conservative, we cared about our children.
Yes.
And this is obviously a huge problem with the border. How do you think that you can reach out to people that are not conservative or Republicans? How do you think you can what message you should have for them on this issue? Why should they care about the border issue when it comes to children?
Well, one of the things that I was going to say that was interesting, when I was taking my signatures around to have enough to sign up to even apply to be a U.S. Senator, I had more Democrats sign, Asian, Black, and Hispanic, sign on my register because they weren't afraid because they're Democrat. And so they were thinking, oh, they're not going to hurt me. But I had Republicans afraid to sign because they thought they would be targeted by their name and their address being on that signature paper and me turning it in as a Republican running for the U.S. Senate. Because the seat's been held for over 30 years and they're thinking, well, if we put our name down there, then they're going to know us and they're going to target us for supporting you. It just blew my mind. So when I was having these, which I'm friends with the people that signed, but a lot of them were not known to me. And I just knocked on their door, and our common bond is that we know the values we have for our children. We love our children. We love our grandchildren, and we do not want our rights taken from them. And the commonality that we all agreed upon was that they can't even put food on their table for their babies. They have to decide whether or not they're going to put gas in their car to get to work, have their car repoed, or be late on their house and wait till the last minute and see if they can get by in the house and try to find someplace else to live. And so not only have they burned us out of our areas, trying to push people into more densely populated areas to make their 15-minute cities, they have made it impossible for people to find housing that's affordable. So people that are modern class, middle class people are becoming homeless and living out of their vehicles with their kids. That's what we have in common. We have had enough. We are tired of seeing the royalty of rug thrown out for these people that could care less about us. And then they go on and say that, oh, they need food. They're not stealing food. They're stealing Gucci bags and expensive glasses, and they're selling them on the black market. This is such a lie. They're starting to see that they keep wanting us to believe what's right is wrong and wrong is right. But we do have laws in place that need to be enforced. We need to get back behind our ICE. They need to have a call every single time an officer arrests somebody that's illegal, that's committed violent crimes and that's not here legally, that's violated going to their hearing that they were supposed to go to and get deported. And it needs to be unison. We have to fight together as one, because we have no chance if we don't. And it is the last stand. It's like General Flynn always shares. He's like, local action does make a national impact. And yes, I am a mom from a small town, but I have a big voice and I have a big understanding of what is going on in our world. And I have not been asleep. And I have an obligation as a parent and a Christian that can stand up. And there's a lot of people that don't have a faith that I do, but they can look up my faith and be guaranteed that I will be transparent. When I was mayor prior, I did not know anything about politics. I didn't even want to be the mayor. I ended up getting out of that. I finished my term because I'm loyal. I follow through with what I said, but I took an oath. When I took that oath, it didn't just slide off when my term was up. That oath is forever. I don't take oaths lightly, and I don't take my faith lightly, and people can bank on that. So my resolve is that my faith in God, that I will pray about every single thing that I do, and I am a servant for those people, and they don't understand. The government should be afraid of us. There is more of us than them, and it's been turned around so badly that people have just been complacent and afraid, and it's time to step out. And California is amazing. It's a beautiful state that has so many resources, and I want that to be restored. I want people to know that this is a land that was once beautiful, that's been abused violently by these Democrat leaders. And sadly, all of the questions that people are going to ask running for U.S. Senator are things that a governor should be doing. And so senators actually pass bills, write bills. They help with foreign governments as far as national security. And then we have the authority to impeach a president, impeach other people in Congress. We can actually divert funds that are allocated to other areas, which is one of the things that I would want to do, would be diverting funds from resources like saving a little bug that you can't even see under a microscope versus a living human being. And one of the things that really is upsetting to me is the abortion, especially of Black children, most beautiful babies in the world. My God, they've killed so many children since Roe versus Wade, over 66 million children, babies, our future. So every single time they are trying to hurt our children and change their gender, they're not only messing with that baby, that child that should be a child, they're wiping out a whole generation because they'll never be able to have life beyond themselves. And as a mother, I can't even stand the thought of messing with a child's mind to the point that they know that they're the beginning and the end of who they are. How sad is that? And people are racial profilers, and they're going to look at me and say, oh, that's just a mom and a grandma. No, you're messing with the wrong person, because I have a strong belief in justice, and I am going to stand on that. And that's for every single race. I do not look at people and see what they're wearing or what they've chosen as their lifestyle. I look to the heart, and I sincerely care about the well-being of people's mental and spiritual and their joy. People have lost their joy through this whole COVID thing. Nobody wants to touch anymore. People need a good hug. And it's like, let's just hug each other and put the pieces back together. A mother can do that. But my strong belief and strength, and through the diversity of things that I've had to go through, I've lost my finger when I was a young girl. I went through serious pain, and nothing that has ever happened to me has been bad. I consider it something that's a strength, because now I can help somebody else in that same situation overcome what they've endured. So to me, it's just been a blessing that I've overcome, and I do not feel sorry for myself, and I tell everybody else, don't feel sorry for me either, because I don't.
And that's the kind of strength that we need in the U.S. Senate.